This conference will now be recorded.
Hi guys, good morning. In the last session, we have seen few Git commands and we experimented with those Git commands also. Today also we are continuing the Git commands, right? As part of today's session, I will show you how to push one boot application to Git repository. In the last few sessions, we have seen how to push one Java file to the repository, right? Now, how to push whole project to Git repository from the Git bash, we are going to understand. Once we understand how to push a whole project from the Git bash, then we will see a few more commands. Then we will experiment with how to push project directly from the IDE, right? Now, so let's try to understand. Today we are going to start with this. Before going to start this, I'm going to create one new repository here. I'm going to create one new repository in our GitHub account. So here I'm creating 01 Spring Boot application. 01 Spring Boot application, or else let me keep it as 0. Let me create it as a 20 Spring Boot application. 20 Spring Boot application I'm going to create. This one I'm creating as a public repository. So for one project, one repository will be created. So here I created a repository with a name 20 Spring Boot 20 Spring Boot app.git. Right now, so as the repository got created, now we can perform operations from Git bash. You can perform operations from Git bash. Before that, let me create one application in the Spring Toolsuite IDE. Let me create one application in the Toolsuite IDE. File, new, Spring Starter project. File, new, Spring Starter project. Right. Now here I'm going to give project name, some simple something like 20 Spring Boot application. 20 Spring Boot application. Fine. Click on next. Lombok dependency, Oracle driver. I'm selecting few dependencies for this project, data JPA. Then click on next. Finish. One simple project we created by using Toolsuite IDE. Right. Simple project I'm giving Toolsuite IDE. Here, let me go to this project location. Let me go to this project location. Right. Now. So here, this 20th boot application got created in the workspace folder. Spring Boot application. This is the project which is created. This is the project which is created. You can see all the folders available in this project. So this is my current project. Right. Project got created. Now all these files I want to commit to that Git repository. Currently my Git repository is empty. Empty. I want to commit all these files to Git repository. Commit these files to Git repository. How can we do that? Right. So first, I need to open Git bash. Project I created in the Toolsuite IDE. Now I came to workspace folder. Now. From here, I need to commit this project to Git repository. Can you tell me how can I open Git bash? Just I will right click here. I'm opening Git bash here. Right. So once the Git bash is opened, we can use git init folder. Is used to initialize our empty Git repository. We can use git bash command, git init command. Right. After it is done, here we have option called git add, git commit, git remove, git push. same commands we can execute. Same commands we can execute. Right. First, let me go to git add command. How to add? First of all, we can see status also. Git status command. So here, all these are untracked files because these all are new files. All these files are new. All these files are new. First, we need to add those files to staging area. We need to add those files to staging area. How can I add those files to staging area? How can I add to staging area? So to add the files to the staging area, we will use a command called add command. Git add -a. So why I am giving -a? Why I am giving -a? So that I can add all the files at a time. So that I can add all the files at a time. To add all the files at a time, I am giving -a. Right, fine. All my files are added. So we can check the status also. We can check the status by using git status. So these are the files that are added. Right. Now we need to commit. What is the command to commit? Git commit -m message. Git commit -m message. Sir, give me 1 second. Right. So here we are trying to commit the files. So how can we commit these files? How can we commit these files? So in order to commit the files, we need to use a command called commit command. Guys, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me, all of you? Please confirm. Right. Now I executed a command called status command. So with the status command, we came to know what are the files that are added. So for that, I am giving a command called status command. Right. Now files are added to staging area. So now you can unstage these files by using rm command, or you can commit these files. So in order to commit these files, we will use a command called commit command. So git commit -m project initial commit. I am using a command called project initial commit. Right. So whenever you are going to commit, git commit -m commit message you need to pass. Git commit -m project initial commit, we need to do that. Fine. So whenever you have done the commit, are those changes are reflecting in central repository, or those changes are not reflecting in the central repository? Those changes are reflecting in the central repository, or those changes are not reflecting in the central repository? Changes are reflecting or changes are not reflecting in the central repository? Changes are reflecting or not reflecting? Come on, not reflecting. Why? We executed a command call commit. Where that commit command will commit, it is committing only in the local repository. Now I need to commit these changes to remote repository. I need to commit these changes to remote repository. So how can I commit these changes to remote repository? How can I commit these changes to remote repository now? First time I am committing these changes to remote repository. So they are only telling what are the commands that we need to execute. They are only telling what are the commands that we need to execute. So first one is git remote add origin this repository URL. Git remote add origin this repository URL we are going to take. Right. Fine. Now let's go to git bash and execute that remote command. Git remote add repository URL we are passing. Done. We had added to the remote repository. What is the next command? They are saying git push -u origin master. Git -u origin master. Fine. Now execute git push -u origin master. So it is trying to publish local commits to central repository. It is trying to publish local commits to central repository. Fine. Now check in the git central repository. Right now you can see the whole project is committed to this git central repository. So what are the project that I created in my toolsuite IDE? All the files available in the project are committed to our git repository. This is how generally that people will do for first time. First time they will create a git repository, then they will create a project in the IDE, they will go to the project folder and they will commit all the files to the git repository. They will commit all the files to the git repository. If you don't want to commit any file, then you can add that file to this .gitignore folder. Any file you will be modifying those files, but you don't want to commit that file, you don't want to see that file as modified, then add that file to gitignore. Gitignore file is used to ignore the files from this local working tree. Let me show you that file gitignore. See here, these are all the files will not be committed. Here target folder will not be committed. So whenever I modify some Java code, that class files will be created inside the target, but I don't want to commit this target. So help command I don't want to commit, help.md I don't want to commit, target I don't want to commit. Right now these things I don't want to commit. If you go for IntelliJ IDE, these files I should not commit. S files, those I don't want to commit. NetBeans IDE if you use, these files I don't want to commit. VS Code IDE, Visual Studio Code if you use, that VS Code folder I don't want to commit. So anything that you want to ignore, those things we can add to .ignore folder. Anything that you don't want to commit, you can add to .ignore folder. Right. So that will be created by default. That will be created by default. Right. Fine. Here we are trying to create one empty repository. I created one empty repository. Let me give you steps for that. Create repository in GitHub account. Create repository in GitHub account. So account will be created, repository URL will be generated. Repository URL will be generated for that. Now, what is the second step? Create Spring Boot application in Spring Toolsuite IDE. Create Spring Boot application in Spring Toolsuite IDE. Create Spring Boot application in Spring Toolsuite IDE. Now, third step, go to workspace folder where project is created. Go to workspace folder where project is created. Now Next, inside the project folder, open git bash. Inside the project folder, open git bash. So we are going to open git bash inside the project folder. We are going to open git bash inside the project folder. Right. Now, after the git bash is opened, then what should we need to do? Execute git init command first. Execute git init command. Execute git add -a command. Execute git -a command. Then execute commit command. Execute commit command. So whenever you are going to commit, what is the syntax that we need to use? Git-m message we need to supply. Git commit-m message we need to supply. Git execute git -a command, execute commit command, git commit-m message we need to supply. Right. Next, git execute remote add command. Execute remote add command. So how we need to execute this remote add command, and what is the purpose of this remote add command? What is the purpose of remote add command? Git remote add, then we will specify repository URL. We are going to specify repository URL for that. Git remote add repository URL we are going to specify. Next, execute push command. Execute push command. Git push -u origin master. Git push -u origin master that we are going to execute. Execute push command. Git push -u origin master. Then the local commits will be published to central repository. The local commits will be published to central repository. Local commits will be published to central repository. Git push command. Git push -git remote add origin. Git remote add origin repository URL that we are going to execute. Right. So just go through these steps once. Git remote add origin repository URL, then git push -u origin master. Just read this. We'll experiment these commands once again with the another project. Read these commands. Origin represents central master repository, sir. Repository name and project name no need to be same, sir. They can be different. Repository name and project name no need to be same. They can be different. Right. Now, let us try to perform the same operations with the another project also. I will create one more repository and I will create one more repository for the new project and see how I am pushing my changes to central repository. So what is the first step? Create repository in GitHub account. Now I am going to my Git account, repositories. I'm creating a new repository. This one I'm giving as 21st Spring Boot application. Description I'm providing for that. Public repository only. I'm creating this repository. I'm creating this repository. Right. Here I have some commands which I need to execute. So this is the repository URL. You can copy this repository URL, right? You can copy this repository URL. Fine. So repository got created. Now I want to create a brand new project and I want to commit that project to repository. Suppose assume that I am team lead. So my team members work is going to start from tomorrow. I need to set up a project ready. I need to set up a project ready. I need to set up the project folder. I need to set up the project folder so that everybody can start working on the changes from tomorrow. Everybody can start working on the changes from tomorrow, right? How I am going to do that? How I am going to do that? So I will go to my IDE as the repository already created. Now I will create one new project for this new Spring Starter project. Any name we can give for that project. Now I am giving is 21 Spring Boot application. 21, sorry, not here. File, new Spring Starter project. Here I'm giving the project name as 21. You can give any name for your project. Sir, observe carefully. This is the last time I'm repeating this. I'm creating a new project. Click on next. Lombok. Some dependencies I'm selecting for this. Data JPA. Then click on next. Click on finish. Click on finish. Right. Now this project is created. See the properties of this project, in which location the project is created. That is the workspace. So this, whenever you create a project in the IDE, it is going to store in workspace folder where we have chosen that. So in my system, I have chosen a workspace folder. So to get those details, you can see properties. You can see properties, right? Yeah. So project is created in this location. Workspace folder, 21 Spring Boot application is available. Go to this project location. Go to this project location. Here you have a option directly. You can click on this option. Right. If you click on this option directly, this project is opened. This is my workspace folder. Right. Go inside this folder. Here our project files are available. Our project files are available. So what I need to do now? Empty repository I created in the Git. Now my project is also got created. I have moved to workspace folder also. I have seen the project. Inside project folder, open Git bash. So this is my project folder. Here I need to open Git bash. Opening Git bash here. Right. First we can check status. Git status. Sorry, it is not a Git repository. It is saying that it is not a Git repository because the .git folder is not available. Now tell me, how can I initialize this folder as a Git repository? How can I initialize this folder as a Git repository? Can anybody confirm on that? Do you know how to initialize our folder as a Git repository folder? It is saying that it is not a Git repository. How can I make this folder as a Git repository folder? I need your answers. I need your answers. How can I make this folder as a Git repository? Directly I'm trying to execute the status. It is saying that I don't know what is the status because it is not a repository folder. Now let us represent that folder as a repository folder by execute a command called git init command. By execute a command called git init command. Right. Now this folder is initialized as a repository folder. Now let us check the status. Now let me check the status by using git status command. So when I execute the status command, it is listing untracked files. There are so many files are available, but why only files are displaying? Because of this .git ignore. The file names or the folder names which are specified in the .ignore will be ignored. Those files will not be considered for our status, right? What is the purpose of git ignore means? Anything that you don't want to consider for commits every time, then you can ignore that. Like target folder, I don't want to consider. So every time, whenever you make some code change, the target folder will be modified. Always will be displayed as modified. I don't want to commit that file because it contains only .class files. I don't need to commit my dot class files. I want to commit only my Java files. So the target folder is ignored. Like that few files will be ignored. So how to ignore a files from our project? By using .git ignore folder. By using .git ignore folder, we can ignore few files here. Fine. Now with this status command, we will understand all the files are untracked. That means they are new. We need to add them. Can I directly commit them or I need to add them? Do I need to commit or do I need to add? Can I commit without adding? Can I commit the files without adding? Confirm. Can I commit these files without adding? No. How can I add all files at a time? Is there any command for that? How can I commit all the files at a time? Yes, we have a command for that. What is that? Git add -a. Git add -a. Now all these files are added. All these files are added. Let us check the status. Git status. Now all these files are added. Now these files we are going to commit. So tell me the syntax to commit a file or to commit all the files which are in the. What is the command I need to commit? What is the command I need to use? Git commit -m initial commit. That means project structure is committing. One person will commit this project structure to the, nothing is there, just we created a project, empty project. Now we are going to commit this project to Git repository. Git commit -m initial commit. Git commit -m initial commit. Now this project is committed to local. Project is committed to local. Is it available in the remote? Let us check this once. This is the new repository we got created, 21 Boot app. Refresh. Check the details. Nothing. Nothing is available in the remote because we did not push it to the remote repository. We did not push it to the central repository. When I say remote or central, both are same. Remote repository or central repository because everybody can access this repository now. First local commit, then central, right? First commit to local, then push those changes to central. How can I push the changes to central for first time? By executing this command. They are only telling you what command we need to execute. Git remote add origin that repository URL. You just copy this from here, then execute that command in the git bash. Execute that command in the git bash, right? Execute. Fine. Now these files are added to that remote repository. Remote repository. How to push it for first time? Git push -u origin master. -u represents a user. Origin is the central master branch. Origin master. Master means branch name. Git push -u origin master. Now our push operation is done. Let's refresh. Let's refresh. Now we are able to see the complete project is pushed to the Git repository. The complete project is pushed to the Git repository. Able to understand this? How to push the complete project to the Git repository, now we understood. So tomorrow when you join in the company, one person in your team will do this operation. Tomorrow in your company, one person will do this operation. Git repository will be created. Git repository will be created and he will create a project folder structure in the IDE. Then he will push that project structure to the Git central repository. Now everybody has to clone this repository. Now one team member joined in the company. Now assume that one team member joined in the company whose name is some Sharath. Whose name is some Sharath. Now Sharath is a new member. He got the laptop from the office IT team. Infrastructure team will be available. They provided a laptop for the Sharath. Now manager told to Sharath to set up his workspace. Manager told to Sharath to set up his workspace. It is assumed that now this is a Sharath system. Now what command that Sharath has to execute? what command that Sharath has to execute. First time, nothing is there in his system. He has to take that project. He has to take that project from Git repository. How can he take that project from the Git repository? How can he take the project from the Git repository? By using clone. So in order to take that clone, in order to clone that project, Sharath requires Git repository URL and credentials also. For Sharath, account will be created in the Git with his employee employee ID and the official email. He will get account in the Git. He will get the account in the Git. Git administrator will create the account for the Sharath, and he will get the repository URL. Then Sharath will open Git bash here. First, let me give the URL for the Sharath. Let me give the URL for the Sharath. Now, for Sharath also this will be accessible because he's also a team member. Here he can see clone or download option is available. When Sharath log into his Git account, he will see he has to work on this 21st Spring Boot. He has to work on the 21st Spring Boot application. He has seen that yes, here that project is available. Now Sharath has to clone this project, right? So he can download or he can clone. If he download, it will not be connected to the repository. He cannot perform the operation if you download normally. He has to clone to perform the operations. So he's going to click on clone. Here there is an option called copy. When you click this button, it will be copied. Link will be copied. Now go to Sharath system. Now Sharath will open a Git bash. Sharath will open a Git bash. Now he will execute a command called git clone command. Git clone repository URL. If you execute the clone, init will be executed by default. This folder will be represented as a repository folder if the cloning is successful. But if you don't clone it, then you need to represent that as a Git repository folder by executing init command. Git clone repository URL. Git clone repository URL. Now cloning, that project is getting cloned into this Sharath system. First time when you want to take the project from central repository to the local system, then you are going to use this clone command. Now you see the project, all the files that are available. SRC folder is there, git ignore folder is there, pom.xml file is also available. Now Sharath will import this project to the IDE and he will perform the operations. So with this we understood how to push complete project to the Git repository and how to clone complete project from the Git repository. Pushing and cloning we understood. All of you clear with all these steps? All of you clear with all these steps? Right. Fine. Now forget about the Sharath. We know how we need to do that. Now, as I created this project initially, right? I created this project initially. I created some pack folder structure of the project. Now I will do some small modification and let's see how can I push those changes to repository. src main java com.ashokit application.java. This class is created by default. Sir, Neeraj, that I copied from the GitHub account only, sir. Whenever you open that GitHub account, it will give you that link. Git push and git remote add origin URL. I will copy it from that Git repository now. Spring application at run method. It is going to return a configurable application context object. It is going to return configurable application context. It is going to return configurable application context. Configurable application context. That means I modified some code here. Now I want to do context.close, that is run.close. I just want to close my context object. Context dot close. That means I modified some code. I have modified my code here, right now. So go to git bash and see how to push those changes which are modified. 21st Spring Boot, now I am not performing as a Sharath, now I am performing as myself. I am going to this folder where my project is created. I modified one Java file, right? Now open git bash here. How can I check what are the files modified? How can I check what are the files are modified? By using a command called status. I will use a command called git status. I will use a command called git status. On branch master, your branch is up to date with origin master. Changes not staged for commit. Changes not staged for commit. Just that file is modified. Just that file is modified. Git add file to update what will be committed. Git checkout to discard changes in working directory. If you want to commit it, first we need to add it. Git add -a. Only one file is there, that file is added. Right now, clear these things. Yeah, file is added or not. Again, I can check it by using this command. That file is added to staging area. Now I have option to unstage or I can commit to the local. Commit to local. So what is the command to commit to local? Git commit -m. I am specifying main class modified. What I have done, that comment I am entering, main class modified. Fine. Now do I need to add to the remote or directly I can push? Do I need to add to the remote or directly I can push? Directly I can push it. Directly I can push these changes, right? So for that, I'm going to use a command called git push. Before pushing this, you can check in the repository whether that file is modified in the remote repository or not. Go to src folder, go to main folder, go to Ashok IT, go to application.java, right now. So like this, we are going to get Spring Boot main class. We are getting Spring Boot main class. Spring Boot main class we are going to get. Fine. With this, currently the old file is available. Currently the old file is available, right? Here, now I need to push the changes. When I execute push, what are the local commits are there? Those local commits will be pushed to central, right? Now execute push. Execute push command. Git push command. Right now, refresh this page. Whatever the changes that I had done in my IDE, I pushed those changes to Git central repository. This is what we are going to do daily. First, one person will create the repository and he will commit the folder structure to the Git repository. We will clone that Git repository and we will import that project to IDE. We will do the changes for that and we will be pushing our changes. We will be pushing our changes, right? In this Git bash, you can see that. In this Git bash, you can see that. Suppose now, as part of one development activity, I want to create one new class. I want to create one new class in a package. New class. Now assume that my class name is car. My class name is car. This I'm creating inside a package called beans package. Inside a beans package right now. So inside this, we can write some code also, whatever we want. Now I want to check the status. Today assume that I got one task. I created so many files here. I modified so many files here. Created a classes, modified the existing files also. At the end of the day, when I'm leaving the office, just I am going to use this status command. I'm going to use the status command. So what it will display to me, what the status command will display to me, what are the changes I have done from morning, what are the changes that I had done in my project. All those changes will be displayed to me. It is inside a package called beans package, right? Now I want to commit. Before going to commit, sir, always recommended to execute pull. Always recommended to execute pull. What is the purpose of pull command? What is the purpose of pull command? Please respond. To get latest code from the central repository to the local, we are going to use pull command. To get latest changes from central repository to the local repository, we are going to use pull command. Now, when I executed pull, it is saying that nothing is new in the central. Whatever is there in the central, you also have in the local. So already up to date. It is displaying a message as already up to date, right? Now, one file is modified. Now I need to commit it. Git add -a. Git add -a, right? Yes, we are able to add it. Next, git commit -m add car class. Added car class. One file is committed to local. Publish these local commits to central. To publish the local commits to central, I have a command called git push command. Git push. Now changes are pushed. Just go to this folder. Now you can see beans folder got created. Inside the bean car.java file is also available. Now I'm able to push those changes to remote repository, that is central repository. My changes are pushed to central repository. All of you clear with this one? How to commit a whole project to the Git repository, and how to push modified files and to the Git repository, how to push new files to the Git repository, and how to clone the repository to the local. Also we have experimented, right? So we have seen all these operations as of now. Now let us try to understand few more commands which are very important from Git. Few more commands which are very important from Git. Now, so here we are going to talk about a very important command that we need to understand, which is called git stash command. We are going to understand a command called git stash command. Git stash. Theoretically, first I will write the purpose of this command, but with the theory you don't understand the actual purpose of it. Then we will see practically how to work with this stash command. Then you will understand the real purpose of the stash, right? So actual from the theoretical standpoint, git stash, it is used to record current working tree clean. It is used to record and make current working tree clean. It is used to record current working tree. It is used to record current. It is used to record the changes. It is used to record current changes and make working tree clean. It is used to record unsaved changes or unsaved changes and make working tree clean. That is the theoretical point. Fine. Now let us understand with a scenario. Let us understand with a scenario. very important scenario for next 10 minutes of time. Please observe carefully. So even in the internet also you will not get the proper clarity for this command. Just observe carefully. Now your TL assigned a task to you. Your TL assigned a task to you morning at 8 a.m. Your TL assigned a task to you morning at 8 a.m. and you started working on that task. Right. Few changes you already made and you are working on that. Few changes already you made in few files. But your TL assigned a task to you morning at 8 a.m. and you started working on that task. Few changes you already made in few files. But you did not committed. Because that task is not completed. Here, let me give the task name as suppose HAS-122. That is a Jira story ID. For every task, one story ID will be created. That is the Jira story ID. Your TL assigned a task HAS-122 to you morning at 8 a.m. and you started working on that task. Few changes already you made in few files, but you did not commit it because it is not completed. Because task is not yet completed. You are working on that. You are in the middle of that. Around 12:15 p.m. Around 12:15 p.m. Your team lead told that your TL told that park HAS-122 for now and start working on HAS-134. It is more priority today. Today. Please complete by today end of the day. Around 12:15 p.m. your team lead told that park HAS-122 story that you are working on and start working on HAS-134. It is more priority today. Please complete it by today EOD. After 122 is completed, after HAS-134 is completed, then start working with HAS-122. Just read the scenario once. Your TL assigned a task whose ID is HAS-122 to you morning at 8 a.m. and you started working on the task. Few changes already you made in few files, but you did not commit it because task is not yet completed. You are in the middle of the 122 task. At 12:15 p.m. your team lead sent a mail to you saying that, suppose your name is Sumant. Hey Sumant, please stop working on HAS-122 because we got one defect called HAS-134. It is more priority for today. All the testing team members are waiting for this fix. So if we don't fix it, their time will be wasted. That's why you stop 122 for now. Whatever the changes you have done, just keep it as it is. Right now, start working on the 134. It is more priority and complete it by today EOD. After 134 is completed, then you start working with your 122. So that is the instruction given by team lead. Now, what is your situation at the 12:15? You are in the middle of the 122. Already you made few changes. Can you commit those changes at the 12:15? Please respond to my questions, then only we'll understand the scenario. Morning you started at the 8 a.m. Morning you started at the 8 a.m. and you are working on that for changes. Several files you are modifying. For that 122 development activity, you are modifying several files. But at 12:15, you got a mail from the team lead saying that stop 122. Start working with the 134. So at the 12:15, you need to start working on 134. But what about the changes you have done for 122? Can you commit those changes either to central or to master? Can you commit those changes? You cannot. You cannot. Why? You are in the middle. Your task is not completed. It requires another 4-5 hours of time to complete 122. Then only you can commit those files. Assume that you modified several files. You modified several files, but you cannot commit because you are in the middle. You are in the middle. Can you delete those changes? Answer. Can you delete 122 changes from the workspace? If you delete, what is the problem? 4 hours you spent in the morning, that time is wasted. If you delete those changes, your 4 hours of time is going to waste. But can you commit it? You cannot commit it because you are in the middle. You cannot commit, you cannot delete. So just keep it in the workspace and start working on the 134. If you start working on the 134, at the time of committing 134, you will be confused. Which files are for 122? Which files are for 134? Suddenly, can you start making the changes for 134 in the project in your workspace folder? If you start making changes for 134, then evening you will be confused. Which files I modified for 122, which files I modified for 134. That confusion will be there for you. That confusion will be there for you. In this situation, you will go for git stash command. In this situation, we will go for git stash command. Why? Whatever the changes I have done for the 122, I don't want to commit. I don't want to delete. I don't want to keep in the working tree. I don't want to keep in the local also. I don't want to keep in the local. If I keep in the local, when I am committing 134, it will confuse me. Array, there are 30 files I modified. How many files are for 122? How many files are for 134? Which are for 122? Which are for 134? I cannot remember that. I cannot differentiate evening. So if I want to delete these changes, my morning 4 hours of time is going to waste. If I want to commit these changes, they are in the middle, compilation problems will occur. I don't know how it is going to affect the project repository. So you will be stuck in this situation. So in the real time, these kind of problems will be available. Morning, they will give you one task. In the middle, they may assign you priority task. Then your regular task, you need to park. You need to hold on and you need to complete the priority task first. Did anybody working person face this situation in the company? We have some working people in the call, in the meeting, right? Anybody faced this situation? Good. Nisham, you faced it many times. Divyasri, you faced it. Ravi, Markandeya, Rajesh. Very good, sir. Excellent. You people can clearly understand what is this, what I am talking about. The people who are not working, sir, please try to understand the scenario, what I am telling. So your father assigned you one task in the morning, you are doing that. Suddenly he gave you one more task and told that that is priority. Then you have to complete the priority task first. You have to complete the priority task first, right? Same situation you will get in the project development also. Your lead assigned you one task in the morning and you made few changes for that, but you are in the middle. You are in the middle of those changes. All of a sudden he gave one more task to you and he asked you to complete this 34 task first, right? So what about the changes from morning I have done for 122? That is confusion for me. From morning 4 hours of time, I have done some changes. I have done some changes. I cannot delete those changes. I cannot commit those changes. I cannot keep those changes. Completely I am locked here. Right. Fine. So here, if you observe, we are working on, this is my working tree. This is my working tree. This is my working tree. Now I have started working with this. I have started working with this from 8 a.m. 8 a.m. Now few changes I made it. Few changes I made to this working tree by 12:15. Few changes I made for this by 12:15 p.m. These changes are for HIS 122. These changes are for HIS 122. Now suddenly my lead asked me to change. Assume that here I modified 20 files. 20 files modified by 12:15. Small changes I made in the 20 files. Now here at 12:15 he asked me to work on a bug fix that is called HIS 134. HIS 134. Now, so if I want to start with HIS 124, I need to modify some files. Those files may be part of this 20 or may not be part of this 20. I don't know. If I start the bug fixing, then I will understand. Right? So whatever the 20 files that I have modified here, what about these files now? Can I commit these files? I should not, because the development task is not completed. I am in the middle of that. Compilation problems will occur if I commit my files now. So I should not commit it. Can I delete these files? The 4 hours of time you spend, that is going to waste if you delete these changes. You cannot do that. Can you keep as it is and start working on the HIS? Keep these files as it is, don't do anything, just directly go and work on the 134. If you can do that, but when you will face the problem, whenever you are going to commit the changes for 134, then you will not be able to differentiate which files you modified for 122, which files you modified for 134. Right? So that's where what we will do is, whenever you are going to face this kind of situation, whatever the changes that we have done, these 20 files we are going to stash. These 20 files we are going to stash. These 20 files we are going to stash. Stash is a temporary storage. Stash is a temporary storage. Here I am going to execute a command called git stash command. I will execute a git stash command. When I execute this git stash command, what are the 20 files will be stored to this temp area. Whatever the files that are modified, those files will be stored to this temp area. Those files will be added to the temp area. Once that is done, now once the stash is completed, our working tree will be clean. Working tree will be clean. When you execute a status command before stash, when you execute status command after stash, you will see the difference. Before the stash command, if I execute status, it will display 20 files are modified. 20 files are modified. If I execute status command after executing the stash, it will say up to date. No files are modified, because whatever the 20 files I modified, those 20 file changes will be stored to the temp area. My working tree will be clean. Then my working tree will be fresh. Then directly I can start working with the 134. I can start working with the 134. After 134 changes are completed, after 134 changes are completed, now assume that evening around 3 p.m. my changes are completed for 134. Now I will commit and push. I will commit and push. So this I am doing around 3 p.m. My priority task is completed. Commit and push. My priority task is completed. I will do. Then I will execute a command called git stash apply. Whatever the changes that are 20 files I have done, right, they are in the temp area. Those changes I want to bring back, then I will continue my work with the 122. So what are the changes that you have done for your files? You stored them to a stashing area, that is a temporary area. Why? Because when I am going to commit my 134 changes, I should not get any confusion. These files which are modified, what are the changes I have done? Those files I will store to temp area by using stash command. Once the stash is completed, your working tree will become clean. These files will not show as a modified files. Your working tree will be clean. Then work on 134. Work on 134. Now, after changes are completed for 134, when you execute status command, it will display the files which are modified only for 134. These 20 files will not be displayed for you. So these files will not, these changes will not be displayed for you. Then happily and push your 134 changes. After 134 changes are completed, then you have modified 20 files for 4 hours, right? Those changes I want to bring back. How can I bring back those changes? Those changes we will bring back from stash by using git stash apply. By using a command called git stash apply. Git stash apply. Right, now let's experiment this. Let's experiment this work now. Now assume that currently, let me check what is my git status. Branch is up to date with the origin master. Nothing to commit. My working tree is clean. Nothing to commit. My working tree is clean. Right. Now let me make some changes to car class. Let me make some changes to car class. Public void start. Public void start. Now here changes for HIS 122. Changes for HIS 122. I am in the middle of that. I am doing my changes in the, I'm in middle of this car class development. These are the changes for 122. Now 12:15 is the time. I am in the middle of the car class changes. Suddenly I got 134 story. That is a bug fix. That is a bug fix. For that bug fix, I need to make some changes. For that bug fix, I need to make some changes. So as I'm going to start that 134, do you want me to commit the car bin, or you are suggesting me to commit, or you suggest me not to commit? This is related to 122 changes. I am modifying this method. Like this, there are several methods I am going to modify. Now I need to work on 134. I need to work on 134. Can I delete my changes? No, my time will be wasted. Can I keep it as it is? If I keep it as it is, what is the problem? At the time of committing 134, I will get confused. I will get confused, right? Now here, if you observe git status, car class is modified. It is displaying as car class as modified. Then what I will do, I will execute git stash. Observe carefully. Observe carefully. When I execute status before, stash, what is showing, and git stash, saved working directory on the master and made working tree clean. What are the changes are in the working directory? They saved it. They saved it. Now execute git status command. What it is saying? Nothing to commit, working tree clean. Hey, where are my car changes? Where are the changes I have done to the car? They store it to the temporary area. They store it to temp area. Now my working tree is clean. Now I will start working on 134. Now I will make changes for the 134 task. So for that, I'm going to create one file. I'm going to create one file. Right, 1 second. Let me execute the status. Git status. Sorry, I think I did not save the change, so I modified it. 1 second. Let me go for git stash. Git stash. Now let me go for git status. Nothing to commit. My changes are gone. So in my car class, changes are displaying or changes are not displaying. In my car class, changes are displaying, changes are not displaying. Whatever the method I added, is it displaying or not displaying? It is stashed. That's why these changes are not displaying. Now assume that as part of 132, changes for 132. Here I am modifying changes for HIS 134. These are my changes. Now go to status command. Git status. Actually, I modified two. Car class I modified for 122. Start class I modified for 134. But car class changes I stashed because that is related to separate task. Now application.java modified, it is for 134. Now I will commit only these changes. Git add -a. Git add -a. Now git commit -m. Git commit -m. HIS 134 fix provided. HIS 134 fix provided. Then git push. Git push. Done. Now check for the status. What it is saying that your working tree is clean, nothing to change. Now I completed 134 bug fixing. Now I need to work back on the 122. Morning I worked on 4 hours. I have done so many changes. Now, do you want me to rewrite that complete code again? Do you want me to rewrite the complete code again? We should not rewrite the complete code again. We should not rewrite the complete code again. So what we need to do for that? I already stashed them. I already saved them for backup. Now I will get back those changes. Before going to get back, look at our car class. Currently that method is not available, whatever I stashed it. Now git stash apply. Git stash apply. When I apply stash, see here that start method came to my car. What are the changes that I have done from the morning? I saved in the stash memory. Once my 134 task is completed, I got my changes back. Now happily I can continue my work related to 122. So that is the purpose of the stash command. Nobody will give you this much clear explanation. Even in the internet also you don't understand what is the theory that they are providing. All of you clear with this? What is the purpose of stash command? Still anybody not able to understand? Good, perfect. You can do multiple stashes also, sir, if you have to work on this. As a part of 134 we are working on. After 134 one more priority task comes, then you can do that. Multiple stashes also we can do. For the stashes, indexes will be is going to maintain. So if you want to know more about the stash command, then we have help command, right? Git help stash. You can read more about the stash in the documentation. If they have done the changes to the car class, no problem. We will get those changes. Our changes will be merged with them whenever we get stash apply. What are the changes that are there for the class? Our changes will come back to the car. The latest changes also will be available. Right. When you go for git help stash, it is giving several options. So you can do more than one stash also. To see all the stashes, you can go for git stash list. It will give you list of stashes. If you want to delete the changes from the stash, then you can go for git stash clear. Git stash clear like this. They are giving some options what we can pass for the stash. Git options list pop, apply stash, branch name, clear the stash, create the stash, store the stash, like that. You can delete also. Suppose if I go for git stash list, there are two stashes are available. One is the stash 0th index, another one is the stash first index. I want to remove. Git stash clear. Now go for git stash list. Nothing is there. So you can do multiple stashes also. Whenever you are applying the stash, you can specify which index stash you want to apply. Git stash apply index number. Those changes will be apply back to your working tree. If you want to see all the stashes are available, then we can go for git stash list command. If you want to delete those stashes from, if you want to delete those stashes, then you can go and use a command called git stash clear. Right now, just assume that a changes for HS 122 I am making. Here I added integer I is equal to 10. Changes are there. Now here I'm going to use a command called git status. Git status. This file is modified. Now I want to stash it. I want to stash it. How can I stash? Git stash. Saved working directory and index state WIP on master. On master. Master nothing but our local repository master. It is not applied for the central repository. Fix provided. HIS fix provided. So these things are changed. These things are stashed. Now Can I see the stashes available? Git stash list. There is one stash which is called stash 0 index. Now how can I apply that stash? Now if you observe in my class, whatever that is available, that is removed. Now if I apply git stash apply, those changes will be come back to my file. The method and the variable those back to my file. That is called stash apply. So now git stash list. Currently one stash is available. We can clear that. Git stash clear. That stash will be cleared from that. Now my changes are available. Now happily I can commit my changes to local and central repository. Git add -a, then git commit -m HIS 122 completed. HIS 122 completed. Then I will go for git push command. Then git push command we are going to use. Then check for git status. Now working tree is clean. So with this, we today in the today's session we understood how to push whole project to the Git repository and how to clone the project, how to push the changes to the repository, and what is the purpose of git stash command, and what is the real-time use case when to go for git stash command. Thank you.